let's talk about the Pentagon, who still won't acknowledge, let me fix my screen here, won't acknowledge where the money has gone. They have so much money, but they won't acknowledge where that money has gone. Oh, wait, we don't want to do this. And now, Pentagon press secretary declines to say why today's CIA and FBI drone briefing from the House for the House Intelligence Committee was classified. Why is it classified? Why? What are they hiding from us? I'd have to refer you to Congress. And what do I do? Do I go to, to Congress? Do I knock on the door there? How does that work exactly? What do I do with that advice? That would be interesting. Let me see. I was looking at his body language, and he was quite, let's say that he was quite, he was trying to measure his words. We're going to put the volume higher in this one.
Just why does it have to be a classified briefing if these are just hobbyist drones? They're not military drones.
You remember that we were talking about that they said in this conjunct statement from the Department of Defense, of Department of Homeland Security, CIA and FBI. Oh no, there are 1 million drones in the United States, and many of those are from hobbyists. Some of them are civilians, some of them are reconnaissance. Oh, there's no big deal. New Jersey being full of drones. Why are you asking? But if there's no problem, if they're just civilian drones, if there's just another day at drone land, which could be the USA called, according to these people, if this is just another day at drone land, then why classify their findings? It's all a distraction, but we don't know what are they distraction for.
Why is it a classified briefing on the Capitol Hill?
I'd have to refer you to Congress on that. Again, sharing as much information as we can here. I don't have...
sharing as much information as we can here, but that means sharing no information at all, which is not helpful at all. And I don't know why do they offer a press conference. Why would you offer a press conference if you're not going to say anything about the drones? Let's offer a press conference about the topic on drones, but the moment that you ask questions about why some of that information is classified, and there's not an actual answer, how does that work? That doesn't work like that. That is unfair. And then
the briefing in front of me, so I can't tell you specifically, what aspects are classified or not.
We don't know what aspects are classified or not. You know that you could, as the same way that you can print 1,500 pages, and print 1,500 pages is quite a lot. I mean, they must have like industrial grade printers. You can also print the parts that are not classified and bring them to the press conference and have them in your hand. So the moment they ask you the questions, okay, these are the parts that are not classified. These are the parts that I can talk about. But saying that you don't know which parts are classified and which are not, it's complete incompetence. Or they are trying to play with people. They are trying to hide. They're trying to hide where the money is and what they've done with their deadbeat cheating husband. They've been cheating the citizens for years. This is true, Becky. The Pentagon has spent so many billions in what? We still don't know, because they haven't passed an audit in years. But this is the thing. I would like to show you this. I'm going to do some kind of meta in here, but not meta from Zuckerberg. Meta in the sense that I want to show you the way that his voice is lower. It's lower in the second part and goes lower. How can I show you that? Very easy. I make a screenshot of this and I show you this, what I'm seeing at. What you're seeing here is the waveform of his voice. And as he's speaking, you see that, okay? There's some stress in this section, and then his voice lowers. As a lower, it's very easy. This is not measured by our headphones or our speakers. This is visually measured, and you can see it here. There's no way around that. What does he say when he lowers his voice? I don't have the briefing in front of me. Yeah, you have reporters and journalists in front of you asking for information, and he makes sure to look down or avoid eye contact, and he puts his palms up. We're going to make sure to maybe take the subtitles out of the way for a second. He puts his palms up. I don't have the briefing in front of me. Okay, yeah, there's the invisible briefing. It doesn't exist. Because he's lying, probably, boutique mods. Because he's lying, probably. He just wants to be there. Let's do a press conference, but let's hope that these people don't ask actual questions. And as I'm answering these questions, I'm going to be lowering the volume of my voice because I don't really want to be here. So what is this?
Why does it have to be a classified briefing if these are just hobbyist drones? They're not military drones. Why is it a classified briefing on the Capitol Hill?
I don't. I'd have to refer you to Congress on that.
It's like, yeah, he actually, he's completely lost. He looks down, he closes his eyes for, a long time. He presses his lips. I have no idea what to tell you. I have no information of that. He does the gesture in his hands like, you know what? I'm out. He almost storms out.
I'd have to refer you to Congress on that.
He does that gesture with his hands. First, his hands are quite close to one another, and he suddenly just takes them to his sides like, I don't know. I don't know nothing about that. Don't ask these questions. I don't have the information. I know. We are trying to share as much as we can, and that's when, maybe I can show you here. I can show you here the waveform itself. Oh, I can do it. I can do it. Show you here the waveform. You can see it right here in the lower part of your screen.
Sharing as much information as we can here. I don't have the briefing in front of me, so I can't tell you specifically, what aspects are classified or not.
I can tell you specifically what aspects are classified or not. That's when he lowers his voice, and he keeps his voice low the rest of his statement.
I can assure you, though, that again, we are sharing as much information as we can based on what we know.
Based on what we know. And the last part, this is important. I've always told you this, that this is critical. The moment that somebody stops speaking, they're going to do something with their mouth or their eyes. In this case, he looks away and presses his lips right after saying that we are trying to say as much as we can. And he keeps a close gesture with his hands, one over the other. Like, I don't have anything else to say about that. I'm going to play that last part because it's interesting from a body language perspective. So you can see it. I
can assure you, though, that again, we are sharing as much information as we can based on what we know.
Based on what we know, and that's his final body language. What do you think about this? Is this a distraction? Is this some kind of we're trying to hide something? We're trying to not tell people something. We are trying to scare people into something. We want to create paranoia. What is that? Their hands are flailing. His hands are flailing because the body cannot handle this stress. Yeah, in this case, it's, you can't handle the truth. No, you can't handle the stress. He looks like he's struggling with the deception. Yeah, as well. Yeah, the awkward inflection and the last part. We can see it. You don't need a spectrum analyzer to see that his voice was all over the place. All over the place, like my tie pin. And thank you for your compliments on my golden tie. The man on the golden tie. But I need to know What do you think about this in the comments? Let me highlight the live chat